Hey guys, Bob Brennaman here. I'm a realtor in Charleston, South Carolina. Today I am taking you on a tour of a home I sold in Mount Pleasant, which many of you know Mount Pleasant is a suburb of Charleston. And we are out in North Mount Pleasant in Carolina Park, and the subsection we're in inside of Carolina Park is called Riverside. This Riverside is right next to Bolden Lake and kind of part of that. But Riverside is mainly custom built houses, and this house I'm going to walk you through here in a few minutes was built by Jeff Klein, one of my favorite guys, and I hope you enjoy the tour. All right, so one of the things I really like about this house is it's got a nice wooded buffer to the right. And it's got some nice HOA space in front of it. All this where I'm standing as I'm shooting this is HOA space, so you know it won't be built on and is maintained by Property Owners Association. All right, let's go check it out. So this house was built by Jeff Klein, and he is one of my favorite builders in the area. I think he does a phenomenal job, and he's been super busy with over the last couple. Whoops! Oh wait now. All right, here we go. Let's keep rolling. How about that? But I was going to say, Jeff is a great builder, great guy. He builds out here where, in Carolina Park where we are. And he also, builds in other places. Daniel Allen Park, I've sold a good number of his houses out there over the years. But, just, I think quality construction, definitely for the money that you outlay. I think if I was going to hire a builder, he would be one on my short list for sure. All right, so let's go check out the house. House is only a couple of years old. And come in. Nice staircase. And we'll go up and do upstairs last. But again, to the right is the staircase, and then you have basically a dining room. And you have nice wainscoting. Butler's pantry through there, which I will take y'all through in just a second, but we're going to go this way, I think, to start with. Oak hardwood floors. The master in the laundry room is down that hall, but we are going to grab some in here to start with, and then we'll move to the other parts of the house. Coffered ceilings. That's a big signature of Jeff. Jeff does this a lot, I think. At least the number of houses I've looked at of his over the year and the ones I've sold, he tends to coffer a lot of ceilings. So I think it's pretty much a standard that he does. So if you're looking for that type of finish level, he's a good builder to pick for that. And you can see him as I'm kind of panning back out a little bit. It could be a dining room. It's an extra kind of like living area. And, it's right off the kitchen. It is a home granite, I believe, is what they have in here. G profile gas range, closed quiet drawers. The style of house, open floor plan, the big thing everybody wants is what this house has. And as I mentioned at the front, this is in Riverside subsection of Carolina Park. The higher end product is being built in this section in Bolden Lake, which is a little bit further back. And we've done some videos on that. You can, if you look around, you should be able to find something. So here's pantry. And the other thing, and of course this house is closing in the 9s, is the shelving in the pantry is not wire, and that's something. Honestly, some builders even that build into this price point will, in my opinion, cheap out a little bit and put wire. But Jeff's good about putting, and you can see this too. Lots of built-ins. This is kind of the mud room, kind of entry to the house for the owners, and you can see nice cubbies. And we'll go. There's a detached room over the garage, which is a big plus, and we'll go look at that in just a second. But let's do this. We're going to go. Let's do the master upstairs, and then we'll finish up outside rather. So again, down the hall, you've got the powder bath, pocket door, and you can kind of see the finishes that he's putting in these. And then directly to the side of that is the laundry room. Another thing that's a big plus about this house, and that's the doors to the master bedroom, is the plantation shutters. I mean, they're about $300 a window, so it certainly helps if you can have them put in before, and part of your cost being rolled into your mortgage. It's less money to come out of pocket. And then master bath suite. Got the dual sinks, rain head shower. I believe that's a marble. And bathtubs are something that you're starting to see somewhat phased out. Some of these houses, even the higher end houses, there's less of them. But this one has a nice one, and then into the master closet. And it's a closet, but nice size. And that's the water closet through that door right there. And lots of natural light. And again, that's a green space next to it that will not be built on. Okay, let's head upstairs and show you that part of the house, and then we're going to head outside. And if you'd like this floor plan, Jeff has built this, a good bit, and certainly out here. And I know I've walked through some of this floor plan in Daniel Allen Park and in Daniel Allen, mainly in Smythe Park. So, if you like this floor plan, this is kind of a bump out room. I don't know. Again, this camera sometimes doesn't show you the depth of some of these rooms as much as I'd like, but I'll try to do my best to pan back and kind of get you a look at that. And then, good sized bedrooms. This is the one that's on the front part of the house. And, walk-in closet. It's kind of got both of these bedrooms up here. You've got two bedrooms, and really, the fourth bedroom is kind of like a bonus room, but it has the Jack and Jill tie-in where you have, two-door access. And good use of pocket doors. I mean, some people are not pocket door fans. Some people are. I think that they're very useful if used properly. And I think Jeff did a good job in this house of placing them where they, are most functional. And then again, across the hall, back out here, and into the other bedroom. I'll get you a shot of the backyard from up here. So you see standing seam metal roof. And that little room over the garage, hopefully we'll get in before I finish this up. And then, off this bedroom, you've got the bathroom. Subway tile, nice big subway tile. Granite countertops. And then this opens into, this is a bonus room. Could be a bedroom, I believe. I'll have to check, see if it has a closet. But, again, these things, just built-ins. I mean, some builders, will not do that. And I think Jeff, again, does an awesome job of just putting some little extras in houses that you sometimes, might not get with other people. And this is just a closet, and probably, so I thought it had attic access, but it doesn't. All right, so let's take it and go downstairs and do the backyard and see if I can get you guys in to the room over the garage. All right, so back down to the living room. And one of the things another thing I love about this house is this backyard. Really top notch. Great porch. And this stuff is staying with the house. I always recommend too, we didn't negotiate the furniture into this until the end, is never negotiate furniture or personal items while you're negotiating the price for the house. I mean, it's just, you're not going to get a good deal that way. It's keep the two things separate. So a lot of times people will say, I want this or I want that. And I always say, let's get the house under contract, and then we can figure out, what we can get the sellers to potentially leave behind for us and, save us some money. So opening up this door, and I'll get you a little shot of the fenced in yard. Again, that's the room over the garage, which I think this key in my pocket opens. So they put a little bit of money into this, Jeff didn't put the fence in, I'm sure, as most builders don't. And again, all that back there private. Kind of place to hang out, some benches. And then when we were in the mud room earlier, on the other side, but that's kind of the area that you would come in from the rest of the house. Let's see. So remember, the garage is a great selling point. Even if you feel like you would never use it or whatever, I think that if you can get one of these, it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's as good as a master down, but it's almost as good in that it will help resale. I mean, people want a dedicated space that they can use for, you know, potentially office. Certainly, it's great for guests. I mean, you know, I think you can get guests that probably stay a little longer, and you know, probably, you know, in most cases probably want those guests to stay a little longer. But even if you don't want them to stay, this setup allows them to not be in your hair as much. And some of these will have kitchenettes in them. This particular unit does not, house does not, but it's very common to see that. All right, y'all, that is a wrap. Again, my name's Bob Brennaman with the Brennaman Group, and if you like our videos, be sure to click in the right-hand corner of the screen to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, I'm happy to talk to you about anything related to Charleston, whether it's schools, restaurants, things to do when you come on vacation. You know, if you want to talk about new construction in Mount Pleasant or anywhere for that matter in this area, you can always call me. I love to talk about this area. I love to talk about Charleston, and I've been very fortunate to call this home for a long time. So reach out to me. Cell phone again, 843-345-6074. You can check out our website devoted to all of Charleston, which is brennamangroup.com. And if you want to check out something specific to Mount Pleasant, our website is mountpleasantproperty.net. Till next time, y'all.